After the 2-week international break, we return with the AIA Singapore Premier League. Hougang United take on Tampines Rovers here at the Hougang Stadium. Everyone very much looking forward to the return of the SPL. And we are at the business end of the season. These are the fixtures for the weekend. At the same time as this match, Albrechts Negata will be hosting Geylang International at the Jurong East Stadium. Tomorrow evening, Balestier Khalsa entertain Tanjong Pagar United, and it's the Jalan Besar derby. Young Lions take on Lion City Sailors. As I said, only a few games left this season, and it's tantalizingly poised, isn't it, with Albrechts Negata 5 points ahead of Lion City Sailors, though Lion City do have a game in hand, and the two sides still have to play each other. Have a look there at the two teams in action today. It's third versus fourth. Hougang United on 30 points. Tampines Rovers way back with 22, though they do have a game in hand. Well, thank you very much for joining us here at the Hougang Stadium. My name is Shazad Haq, and I'm joined by the former player and coach, Shashi Kumar, who knows the stadium well from back in his playing days. How's it feel to be back in Hougang Stadium?
Great to be back, Shazad. Very intriguing encounter today. Whichever way you want to put it, you look at the two teams. Tampines struggling to buy a win from anywhere. You know, they're really struggling, especially after coming back from their Asian Champions League adventures, and just going against a Hougang side, I gotta say, has been pretty inconsistent throughout the season. And having come back from that break, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses and a draw, simply not good enough, right? But they are sitting pretty good in third position.
In fact, they have secured Asian football for next season. We'll come back to that in a short while, but let's look at the team news that's come through. And it's interesting as far as Hougang United are concerned. We're told that Anders Appelin is not in the squad. We're not given a reason why. We don't think it's injury-related, but he's not there. Kishon Philip is on the bench. In come the Brazilian forward, Gilberto Fortunato, and the youngster, Josiah Poa. Interesting, given that Anders was part of that defense that held back Lion City Sailors. He also scored the goal.
Exactly, and he scored the goal and was very instrumental, you know, in a defensive rear guard, and played in that tree, you know, one of the three out on the left-hand side. So we don't know exactly what's happening there. Injury maybe, tactical, I don't know. But then they've got able substitutes. But the big one there is Gilberto, right? Coming in, playing with a 2 maybe up top, with Doi up top, and very attacking lineup.
Nice and positive from Hougang, a change from what we saw in the last match.
I think so, you know, but they have to go out there, and obviously they've beaten Tampines twice already this season, so why not, right? They've probably seen some defensive weaknesses and frailties in the Tampines side.
Of course, long-term injuries to Maksat Jakibaliev and Idraki Adnan, which of course they probably won't be back till next season. Now, Tampines Rovers have had a really tough time of it, but they also, as we look at the team news, make a couple of changes for this match. Remember, they had that draw against Tanjong Pagar United where they had the lead twice. And in this side now, we know that Irwan Shah is suspended. He got 2 yellow cards in that last game. Irfan Najib has got an injury, a knee injury. Shazwan Buhari didn't play in the last game. He's still out with a foot injury. So the 2 changes coming in, Madhu Mohana, the Singapore international, and the foreign signing, Armin Bosniak.
Forced changes, obviously, with Irwan Shah out, but very good to see Madhu Mohana back. You know, I think he has been eased in after the injury, and probably play in a 3 at the back with Ryan Sanizal and Dan Bennett. But apart from that, they've got the 2 wing-backs in Armin and Mark Ryan Tan. But in the middle, where they're very creative, obviously, with Nakamura in there, and Mehmedovic and Kapitovic as well.
Well, they, as you said, can't buy a win at the moment. They'll be absolutely desperate to turn around their fortunes. Remember, the last time they were in action on this ground, they got absolutely hammered by a stupendous Hougang United side, 5-1. So it's going to be a tough call, isn't it?
Exactly. And you talk about Tampines, you know, I think they haven't recovered. And there's 2 things here. Psychological, you know, I think you talk about momentum, that's underrated, really. You know, they haven't really recovered from the Champions League. And football-wise, I think in defense, they've got some problems to sort out as well. We'll
analyze in more detail Tampines Rovers in a while. Let's pay our attention to Hougang. They were very resilient, we mentioned, against Lion City Sailors. Very tight in that first half, but in the second half of that game, and what a game that was, by the way, they were under a lot of pressure when they from Lion City were gunning for that goal, especially because
right, you give him space and he will score. And then in the second half, they were packed back. And obviously, you would expect that from a Lion City side who are gunning for the title and what have you. And yeah, so good rear guard, very good defense. And like you said, and Anders in there, Lionel, Fabian Koch as well. So the three in the middle of the park or in the middle of the defense, they did great work, stemming the tide for the LCS team.
5 shots they conceded in the second half. That was that goal from Stipe Plazibab. What a save that was from Iswan Mahmoud. Roshan, who was the commentator the other day, called that Gordon Banks-esque, and then Nazrul Nazari clearing off the line.
Exactly.
But that kind of typified Hougang United that day.
Yeah, and like I said, in the second half, they had to drop deep, and as the match wore on, they got deeper, and then Iswan Mahmoud, what a save that was at the end, an absolutely brilliant save.
What does that do for a team? You talked about psychological disadvantages for Tampines Rovers.
Yeah.
Let's look at it from Hougang's point of view. After a stirring performance like that against a team like Lion City Sailors, they've taken 5 points off Lion City Sailors, by the way, this season, which is the gap that they have now with Albrecht Nagata. What does that do for your confidence?
Oh, loads, right? And especially you got some players in there who've playing in the national team, who've done it here, there, and everywhere. So absolutely brilliant, and individual players as well, and we're going to talk about Kai Shu as well, and Shawal Anwar. What a player he is. He has been for Hougang. So yeah, so they've got players to do damage, but that is why I say, in my opinion, been disappointing, because if they have gone out and play a little bit more proactively in other games, they'd probably be in first position.
Kai Shu is someone that Clement Teo has said he wants to keep in the squad along with Tomoyuki Doi. I mean, he was playing for Lion City Sailors as a central defender. He's been moved up into a central midfield role. You like him there?
Oh, of course. And why wouldn't you be keeping him, right, together with Tomoyuki Doi? And in terms of assists as well, he knows what he's doing. He's very strong in the middle of the park as well. So, like I said, individual players for Hougang, I think, if they've gone out in earlier games, turn those draws into wins, the 3 draws, and then the losses into draws, I tell you what, they'll be above LCS now.
Yeah, they've had some missed opportunities. 6 assists for Kai Shu, 5 for Shawal Anwar. We just talked about those 2. Tomoyuki Doi, still the top scorer in the league, 16 goals. Yeah. Had a small little dry patch at the moment, but still a great player.
Is that a crisis, Shazad? I don't think so, right? But yeah, he scores goals. You can't give him space, you can't give him time, and if you give this guy that little bit of chance, he will score. And then here from the free kick, he can do everything. Header, free kicks, dead ball situation, from open play. So he can do it all, long range shots as well. And you know what? He has taken 87 shots on goal this season, 50 on target. That's a ridiculous stat.
Fantastic stat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ratio-wise, what a stat that is. So, like I said, against a Tampines side who are frail at the back, if he goes wild, and then Hougang can win this easily, I say.
Yeah, he hasn't found the net at the back of the net for the last 3 matches. Like you said, not a crisis for a man of his talent, but he'll want to get back in scoring ways. And this has been a good ground for him against Tampines Rovers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he scored 5 goals against Tampines or so. And like I said, against a side that is going to defend a little bit higher up the park, like Tampines, like they always do, who likes to keep possession. And then when they lose the ball in transition, they are always in danger of being caught out at the back. So that is where that's where Doi will be very, very dangerous in behind the Tampines defense.
Now, I mentioned, as we see some of Tomoyuki Doi there, that Hougang United, the great news for them, Shasi, is that they have secured Asian football next season. They've already qualified once before in 2019. They played the AFC Cup. They are definitely in the AFC Cup for sure. Yeah. They still have a mathematical chance of the title and AFC Champions League. Are they going to go for broke there, or are they just going to, let's just be steady and straight and secure a top 3 place if we can?
Now, firstly, what a great position to be in. You've already secured your AFC Cup position, and then nothing else, right? Just go forward. Just go for the win, go broke for the next. Nothing to lose. Next 4 games, go all out against all the big sides. Why not? Go all out and put in Doi there, Gilberto in there, put in all your attacking players. And they've got other players who score goals as well. Shawal can score goals. Hafiz Sujat can score goals. So, they are a good attacking side.
You talked about Doi, what he can do. Do you think he's the kind of striker who would like someone up there with him, like a Gilberto? Or do you think he prefers playing that lone striker role?
Oh, that's a good, very good question. We'll find out today because Gilberto is going to play up there, but maybe one of them will just drop off slightly, especially when they're defending against the Tampines side. Yeah.
Look forward to seeing how that shapes up. Now, let's hear from the man we just talked about earlier, Clementio. Also, we're going to hear from Gavin, but first we'll take a short break. Welcome back to Hougang Stadium, the AIA Singapore Premier League match between Hougang United and Tampines Rovers happening very shortly indeed. These are the last 5 meetings between the two sides. Hougang leading that 3-2, but more importantly, Shasi, they've done the double already over Tampines this season. So clearly the form is on their side, and also recent performances too.
Exactly, and performance-wise, you can't go against that. And they've got momentum, they've got the confidence as well. And I've always said this, you know, against Tampines, they're always going to be a little bit weak at the back, and that's where Hougang can, just take advantage of.
Now, as promised, we're going to hear from the head coaches of both these sides. Here's Clementio, followed by Gavin Lee.
Clement, Tampines tonight, a side that you've already beaten twice this season, definitely no underestimating your opponents, but does your winless run give you a little bit more confidence to come away with a result here tonight?
I mean, in any case, I mean, we definitely every game that we go into, we definitely want to get a result out of it. So, not underestimating Tampines, but I think it would be an interesting game.
But still, considering their run of form and the fact that you are playing at home, have you set up to be more offensive tonight? Because the last time out against your 1-1 draw against Sailors, you had to be defensive and you had to soak up the pressure for majority of it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we need to be very cautious, especially when you are playing against teams like Tampines, who can basically control the game. So offensively, no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about balance.
Now, Clement, you of course come into this knowing that you've already secured an AFC Cup spot for next season. Was that always the target this season, or do you still have your eyes on that sole Champions League spot, seeing it's still mathematically possible?
I mean, naturally, as a coach, I think, as a coach, we definitely want to do to the best of our abilities and pushing the players to finish off as high as we can. And yes, we have met our minimum target, but that's not the end. I mean, the end will only be our last game against Young Lions.
Gavin, 5 games left to the season and you of course are still looking for that first win since May. You take on Hougang tonight. How much pressure is on you and your side to get a result here?
Yeah, every game again the pressure is the same, and because we look at one game at a time, and we just objectively try our best, work on things that we've done or we've analysed, and all we can do is to go out there and give it our best shot tonight.
Now, speaking of analysing, the last time out against Tanjong Pagar, you believed that there was an improvement in the way you played, although you still weren't too happy with how you conceded. And before we headed into the international break, you said that there was a perfect chance for you to decompress and work on things. So what exactly did you hammer on ahead of this?
Yeah, definitely. We look at Hougang's strengths on the break and our ability to deal with that. On both ends on the pitch to deal with the first point of lost possession and to deal with the space behind, and we've done quite a bit of work on it, and hopefully today will bear some fruits.
And finally, Gavin, what actually have you been saying to your players, to your boys, to keep them motivated for this final stretch?
Yeah, I don't have to say much, to be honest, because our boys are strong characters, they're strong thinkers, and they're motivated as I am, and I'm just excited for the game later.
Gavin, thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.
You've been a coach before in the previous S League. You had a team which had poor runs as well.
Yeah.
Is he right there? You don't have to say it to the players. The players know that it's innate within them as professionals. They've got to step up here.
Exactly. In terms of motivation, you can't motivate them. They as professional players, they need to know what to do. But it's a very good point. He answered that in terms of how he trained for this game, in terms of the transition in possession when they lose the ball. What did they do? It's very interesting to see how they deal with that, because that's the problem, isn't it?
Yes.
In transition, they're very good on the ball, in possession and stuff like that. But when they lose the ball, that's what they do. And it's in the middle of the park that I'm quite worried about them, Nakamura and Mehmedovic, not the defensive players.
Right.
They're very good on the ball going forwards, but defensively, that's the problem. So we will see how that happens. And tactically, they've got to get it right today.
Yeah, he spoke a lot about getting it right. But let's have a look at that last game, Shasi, against Tanjong Pagar. They took the lead here.
Yeah.
There's Irfan Najib, of course, who's not unfortunately going to be playing today. But would they be annoyed at how they conceded these goals off set pieces?
Oh, of course, they're always going to be annoyed with this. And this was, schoolboy error, isn't it, from a set piece? And then they took the lead again here. Good play, good finish, wasn't it, from Mark Ryan Tan? Absolutely brilliant finish. That's the only spot where he could put the ball in. And then to concede the goal like this, not good enough. And it was, Anaki wasn't it with the finish. So defensively, we talked about the psychological thing. I think when as soon as they've lost a goal or they conceded a goal, you can see the players, the confidence seeping out. And you can see that. And so that's the psychological part. But in terms of the footballing part, Kevin has already spoken about this, how he is going to, deal with this, but this is one way in which they can't consider goal.
Talk to me about that back line, Shasi, because they've been porous. It's not just that they've lost games, but they've conceded. They've had some very, very big defeats, 4s and 5s they've conceded. They conceded even more in the AFC Champions League. Where exactly in that back line are you concerned?
Listen, we talk about the back line so often in these are the goals that they considered against Balestier. They conceded against, they conceded 9 goals in 2 games, unheard of in any Tampines side.
Yes.
All right. So we talk about the defensive side of things. It's not only the back line, it is the whole team, the organization, and that's where in transition they are a problem. And I have to tell you, they probably miss Mustafiq Farudin in the middle of the park. Somebody who can sit in there, tactically brilliant, know when to drop back, know when to push on a little bit, push the back line forward a little bit or drop off. So they need a leader in the middle of the park. And so I'm not going to put the sole blame on the defense. I think it's a team thing.
You know, they've conceded 36 goals in 16 matches. That's their worst since 2013 when they conceded the same number of goals, but that was a 27-game season. So there's a long way to go. They're going to easily surpass that, Shasi.
Right, exactly. And listen, you talk about goals being conceded. They're the number 2 team going forward, scoring goals.
Yeah.
Right. So again, like I said, I don't want to be jinxing it. There'll be loads of goals in this one.
We're going to get back to your thoughts on that, but the problem for Tampines is when they play a team in the top 4, they struggle. And these are the games that count when you're looking to get titles or secure an Asian spot.
You're right. Very, very right. And you talk about winning games against the so-called lesser sides of the bottom side. You got to do that anyway. 3 points there in the back. But these are the games, right? Albirex, Hougang, and Lion City Sailors. You got to nick points here and there, 3 points or even 1 point, right? So to be a champion, it is simple as that. If you want to win the title, defensively you got to be solid and you got to be beating these teams like Albirex and Hougang and Lion City Sailors. It's a given.
It's a absolute given. It's a minimum, as you
yes,
say.
Exactly.
And that's where they've struggled. One outlet perhaps today, he's come back into the side. Their foreign signing, Armin Bosniak. I saw him a lot in the AFC Champions League where I felt he got found out a little bit, but in the SPL, he's a top assister.
Exactly, and this is what he does, right? From the flanks, cutting inside, or he can beat a player, and that's where this is his bread and butter, isn't it? Like cutting in, crossing with his right foot and even his left foot, and he can find a player. And obviously, if you've got Kopitovic in there, he can find you with a hit. And top assist player, but like you said, in the Champions League, got found out. But this is a different ball game altogether, and he needs to keep doing that, and probably maybe add in terms of the goals scored as well. I think he needs to chip in with more goals.
So it's a positive move as far as Tampines Rovers are concerned. They bring Armin Bosniak back into the side. Madu Mahana joins him as well. Irfan Najib is injured, and Irwan Shah, of course, has been suspended. We are going to take a very short break. When we come back, it will be kickoff here between Hougang United and Tampines Rovers. We are at Hougang Stadium there, proud proud venue of a team that has really shown in the last few years that it can compete at the very top. It's the only senior side left that has not won any titles as they take on Tampines Rovers in this AIA Singapore Premier League match. A reminder that they have already secured Asian football for next season. In the AFC Cup, at the very least, there is a mathematical chance of winning the title, or at least getting an AFC Champions League spot. And that, I'm sure, somewhere in the back of their minds. Clement Teo said they will fight till the very end to see how far they can go. And for now, though, their attention's firmly focused on a declining, I'm afraid, Tampines Rovers, who have been poor since returning from Uzbekistan, where they were taking part in the AFC Champions League. They lost all their matches there. Some heavy defeats. And I'm afraid that continued in Singapore upon their return. Of course, they had to have extend that quarantine period. Some players came down with COVID, but once all that was cleared, well, they lost 4-1 to Lion City Sailors. That was on the 15th of August. And then there was a 5-2 at the hands of Balestier Castle, probably the most painful one. Geylang International won the Eastern Derby 3-1. They finally broke that run of defeats with a draw against Tanjong Pagar. But they have lost Irwan Shah in the process and Irfan Najib. We'll talk about their selection very shortly. I've got the former player and coach with me, Shasi Kumar. Shasi, these are two teams that do like to play their football.
Yep.
We know that Hougang can go forward. They've got an array of attacking talent. And we know that Tampines do like to play some possession-based football.
Yep.
So are we going to see that kind of free-flowing game today?
I think so, and I hope so as well. And I think looking at the pitch as well, it looks good. You know, the grass is just very short as well, so it allows the ball to move a little bit quicker. But yeah, you talk about the football that is played. Tampines likes to play the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
Possession-wise, they've got the pivot player in Nakamura, or sometimes Mehmedovic. She comes in deep to receive the ball and go forward. So they like to play the ball around. As for Hougang, they're a mixed bag. Sometimes they do like to keep possession. Sometimes they like to defend deep, play on the counter. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes.
Joherman Zaiton is the referee today, assisted by Andy Tan and Lim Si Seng, the fourth official, Shadik Al Hussein. Here are the two captains, Yasser Hanapi and Fabian Kwok. In what could be a feisty affair today, Shasi.
Yeah, exactly.
With so much at stake. We know that we talked about how Hougang have already secured Asian football. Tampines have got some pressure today with, amazingly enough, Tanjong Pagar right on their tail here. So Yasser Hanapi, he's got to keep his cool.
No, I think it's not only Yasser. The whole team needs to keep their cool, especially not, you know, letting their head down if something goes wrong. You know, maybe in the early stages of the game. But yeah, you look at the lineups here, and Hougang has got a very strong first 11 out there.
Yep, we have not been informed why. We did question the absence of Anders Applin, the goal scorer in the game against Lion City Sailors. No reason given. He is not in the squad today. Kishon Philip is on the bench. This is the side, of course, that drew 1-1 with Lion City Sailors. In comes the Brazilian striker Gilberto Fortunato and Josiah Poir. He keeps his cards close to his chest, Clement Teo, but he's the longest serving coach at Hougang, 3 years now at the helm.
Yep, it's good to see that as well. You know, continuity, progression in terms of the coaching staff, not only players, but coaching staff as well. So it's nice to see that happening. And this is the Tampines lineup.
Tampines also make two changes for this match after their 2-2 draw against Tanjong Pagar United. Both of them enforced with Irfan Najib. He has a knee injury, and we've also got Irwan Shah, who is suspended after 2 yellow cards in that last game. But in come Madu Mohana and Armin Bosniak.
Yeah, exactly, and that's Gavin for you. And yeah, the two players that come in, Armin Bosniak, will need more from him, especially down the left-hand side. And just going back to the interviews, we talk about the two coaches, we talk about Clement Teo. He was probably contradicting himself, saying that he wants to be cautious, but then he goes out and put two forwards in there, Gilberto and Doi. So we'll see how that happens, or maybe one striker will just drop deep and play in a five when they are defending. So that's nice to see that as well. But Gavin Lee as well, he spoke about how they've tried to do that in training, how to stop the transitions or how to defend, especially when they are going higher up the pitch when they are in possession, and it's all about positioning and organisation. So we'll see how that pans out.
The other thing that you were interested in seeing, Shasi, was the lineup, the formation for Hougang today, because they played a 3 in the last game against LCS, and it seems quite clear it's a 4-4-2.
Yeah, it looks like a 4, and then funnily enough, Farhan Zulkifli looks like he's starting out on the right-hand side of defence, predominantly a left-sided player, left-footed player. But it's the fashion nowadays. The left-sided player goes on play.
Inverted
yeah, exactly.
fullbacks?
Yeah, it's good to watch because they can cut in, and but we'll see how it goes.
Kaishu Yamazaki looking for Tomoyuki Doi. Those are the two foreign signings that Clement Teo has already stated quite clearly he would like to retain. He also says he wants a defensive option for next season, already thinking ahead. And remember, if they're involved in Asian action, they certainly will want to strengthen their squad. Here's one player, another Japanese player who has caught the eye, and that's a nice ball up from Nakamura to Armin Bosniak.
Yeah, exactly. That's he's very dangerous, isn't it? Nakamura, especially with his balls, penetrating passes, and that was a little bit too long.
Yeah, here's Farhan, who Shasi mentioned is perhaps a bit surprisingly on this left-hand side. He's got Lionel Tan next to him, and Fabian Kwok is the other central defender, up by Kaishu. And he's found Tomoyuki Doi, who'll get to the byline, cuts that across. Madu Mohana clears. First time they've got behind that defence already inside the first minute, Shasi.
Exactly, and that is the ball that was played through the fullback, the half spaces between Ryan Sanizal and Amirul Haikal. The ball just went behind him, and Doi got there first. Good cross. Just couldn't find his man there. You see, good cross in there. And Madu Mohana completing the clearance.
I thought the last time when Tampines visited this venue early in the season, I was fortunate enough to be commentating on that game, and what a stupendous performance that was by Hougang. They were quick to the ball, they were first to everything, they were aggressive, on the front foot to everything, and had a superb 5-1 win that day. Can they repeat something like that today? And in this current form, you would think they have a good chance. Was that a little late challenge on Farhan?
Yeah, and to be fair, the referee waved play on first, and you see what happened after the cross. And funnily enough, Farhan there crossed with his right foot. Good cross as well. And now, free kick in a very dangerous position.
Kaishu standing over the ball. There's that Lionel Tan. Will always get involved in these kind of set-piece situations. Gilberto Fortunato! He's gone just wide there with a glancing header.
Tell you what, that was very close, wasn't it? He got there first, needed to get there first, and that glancing header. Wow, nearly. I don't think the man who's supposed to mark him is the tallest of players there. I think it was Mark Ryan Tan. Got to sort that out defensively.
Well, they're playing out from the back. This is what Tampines Rovers like to do. And it's over the keeper! Oh, what a great goal that is! Lobbed over the keeper from Fabian Kwok. And those defensive woes of Tampines Rovers come back to haunt them. They've tried to stick to their principles, and they've been bitten very early on.
Well, as much as we want to talk about the defensive mistake, what a finish that was by Fabian Kwok. Had the presence of mind to actually play it first time. This simply isn't good enough if you are a Tampines fan. But look at that finish by Fabian Kwok. He really meant it. Look at that. Knew what he was doing. Took it first time. Goalkeeper was in no man's land. And this is the problem, isn't it?
Sorry, first Shasi,
yeah.
I was just going to ask. He's obviously not the regular goalkeeper.
Yep.
Should you be asking him to be playing at the back, playing out from the back? Fabian Kwok there with the goal, and are you putting him under undue pressure for someone who doesn't play very often?
But that's how they play. You know, that's we talk about trusting how you play, trusting the process, so to speak. But that's how they play. So that's what they want to do, and that's probably what they do during in the training ground. So they got to stick to that. But that was so simple, wasn't it, for Hougang to just, you know, and it's a mistake as well. And at this level, you will get punished.
Well, Fabian Kwok, that is his first goal of the season. They're now up to 15 individual scorers this season. That's almost going to match their record of 17 a couple seasons ago. So that is impressive. That is the highest in the league. Nice to have goals all around.
Yeah, exactly. And Josiah there on the left-hand side, left back, turning the wrong way and then giving away the foul against Mark Ryan Tan. Did very well, Mark Ryan Tan, but Josiah having done well initially, winning the ball, and then just turned into trouble. Turned the wrong side, and Tampines has an opportunity here to pull it back right away.
Now, can they hit back immediately? Tampines Rovers, free kick. Mehmedovic. They've got plenty of big guns of their own. Tampines Rovers, you'll be looking out for Boris Kapitovic there, but it comes from Madu Mohana, who heads over.
Well, Madu is good in the air. Aerially, he's strong. And having got there, I think he would be a little bit disappointed here as the ball comes in from Mehmedovic there. There you go. The challenge from Shawal Anwar came a little bit too late. And he'll be disappointed, and he knows that. Madu.
Here's Kaishu. They are brimming with confidence at the moment. They're looking for these quick
Yeah.
balls, aren't they?
Yep.
Up to Tomoyuki Doi, this Japanese connection.
And the other interesting thing is, you know, from the goal, Hougang pressed high up the pitch.
Yeah.
And from this side, when Hougang played out from the back, there was no pressure at all, and they were dropping off Tampines. So it's the, you know, you're looking at the opposite here. You know, usually you see that with Tampines, but then this time around, you can see Hougang pressing high up the pitch, and that's how I like to see Hougang play. And if, you know, if they'd done this, you know, throughout the season, then I think they would be high up the pitch, or high up the standings.
Do you think Zulfaris has learned his lesson now? He's deciding to go long this time with the goal kick. Remember, they tried to play out, and that was how the goal was conceded. Oh, Hafiz Sujad, adjudged to have fouled Koga Nakamura.
Well, that's one way to stop this guy, and if you want to stop Tampines from playing, and then you got to stop Nakamura and Mehmedovic, and that's what they're trying to do.
Here is Ahmed Bosniak, loves to take on men. He's got the better of Farhan, puts the ball in. It's away by Fabian Kwok. And now this is the danger man, Shawal Anwar. That took a little bit of a bobble, it looked like, just as he was about to make the pass up towards Doi. Nice touch on from Kapitovic to Bosniak, who has cut inside. He's going to go for goal. Curl it to the far corner. And it's not all that far away. What a start we're having here at the Hougang Stadium, Shasi.
Yeah, this is what we want to watch, isn't it? Especially for the neutrals. And that was really, really close. And this is what he's going to do all day long, isn't it? He cut inside Zul, and then probably cross. And then, but this time around, went for the curler into the far post, and just couldn't curl it enough. Good start.
I think if there's a criticism of Ahmed Bosniak within the SPL is that maybe he doesn't get, create enough goal-scoring opportunities for himself.
Yep, exactly. There you go again. You see Hougang, just playing out from the back, and Tampines just opting to just defend from the middle third.
You want to see them a bit more progressive in that sense, right?
Yep.
Here's Kaishu. To Farhan. Given away to Yasser. Quick pass from Kyoga Nakamura. They've gone back to Dan Bennett, who immediately launches that left to Armin Bosniak. Now Nakamura. Back onto that left-hand side. Shawal Anwar in front of Bosniak. He does his job. Stops the cross. Ball is swung in there. Nurul Haikal. Still the youngster. Farhan in his way. Play continues. Here's Yasser. Seemed in two minds, waiting for the overload there, and it is offside. That came up before the shot was taken.
Yeah, to be fair, the flag went up right away, and Yasser should have just opted to go with his right foot and cross the ball in there. That was close, wasn't it?
There was a puff of the cheeks there, Shasi. You want to explain that?
That only means that I wasn't sure about the decision. But yeah, it was very close, but we go again.
That looked tight, didn't it? It looked very, very tight. It's got Gavin off the bench. He's coming to the edge of his area. I think he'd be quite happy with the response since they've conceded.
But you know, you don't want to be chasing the game, you know, especially so early on when you set out your tactics and your strategies, and you know, what do you do after you concede so early in the game? But they responded well.
Just want to contrast, Shashi. You can see at least they're trying to press from the front there. Hougang. We'll come back to that in a while because here comes Bosnia. He seems to be the outlet at the moment, doesn't he? They're enjoying having him there. The return ball from Yasser Hanapi. And Mark Ryan Tan blasts that. But it's clear they want to use him on this left-hand side.
Exactly, and I think if you are Farhan Zulkifli, you want to be shouting at Shawwal to come back and form a double team or whatever, you know, because he needs help. You know, 1v1, I mean, he's very strong and he can go either way as well, right or left. So that's the problem that Hougang's facing.
Interesting, because they've put Farhan on this right-hand side. You noticed that right at the very beginning.
Yep. And that's probably because of experience, isn't it?
Yes.
Because Josiah is...
Josiah. These are still two youngsters we're talking about.
Exactly.
Farhan, of course, has been really making his name in the last couple of seasons. But I wonder whether, because he's not so familiar on this right-hand side, they're trying to take advantage of that. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well. You know, he's always defending down the line, and especially with the left-footed like that. But, yeah.
Let's see whether they will... Looks like he's going to go long again. He's not risking it. He's got players either side of him, but Zulfairuz goes up towards a Bosniak. They've seen a lot of the ball, Tampines Rovers, since they've conceded. Up to Mehmedovic. He cuts inside, he's looking up towards Kopitovic. Still Mehmedovic here. Now to the big man. Is that a foul on the edge of the area? Mehmedovic, he's wriggling his way through. Oh, what a great individual goal that is. And what a response from Tampines Rovers.
What a goal.
Since going down so early.
What a goal. And I've got to give credit to Joherman Zaitun. Who's he? He's the referee. Because he gave that advantage. And what a goal that was from Mehmedovic. And you know what he can do. Look at this. 1-2. It looked like a foul. Referee wave, play on. Look at this. Look at this at the end. Absolutely brilliant goal. It was Lionel, wasn't it? Sold Lionel off, and then good finish. Mehmedovic, it's 1-1, game on.
Well. You cannot turn your head away from this match at the moment. It is all happening. We've got 2 goals inside 12 minutes or so here at Hougang Stadium. And 2 great goals, 2 very different goals.
Exactly.
We're really enjoying this. What will happen next? It has been brilliant.
Well, the good thing is I haven't jinxed it. Say loads of
goals. You did say lots of goals.
Yep.
And maybe another option here. Tomoyuki Doi smashes that over from a good position.
Yeah, he had to score that, considering the fact that it was Doi. And he knew, or he knows that, you know, he should have done better on his left foot. And again, you can see the weakness at the back. Just a straight ball behind the defense. Look at this, ball bouncing just right for Doi. On the volley. Finish wasn't good enough to make it 17 goals.
Yeah, it was a good chance, wasn't it, for him? He's also looking for that golden boot. Mehmedovic scoring at the other end just a minute ago for his 5th goal of the season. And it is really game on here. What fantastic action we've had. I tell you what, the tackles are flying in. Farhan, he's had a tough old time, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that was great play from Yasser. Absolutely brilliant, battling it out there down this touchline with Fabian, and Farhan, very strong in the tackle and doing ever so well, Yasser.
So another set piece. Yasser to take this one. We've got Bosniak, Mehmedovic, Bennett, Madu Mahana, all interested parties. Straight at Iswan Mabud. He'll be happy for that. There was some questioning, of course, a couple matches back with Hougang, how they conceded near post headers to Albrecht's Nagata. Here's Kaishu. I think, look, I was going to make that point earlier as well to you, Shasi, that you can see that Hougang are quite happy to press as soon as that Tampines defense has the ball, but it's not the other way around.
Yeah,
you pointed it out.
exactly. And again, is that man there, number 8, Nakamura. I just want to stop him.
Work. Mark Tan looks up. He hasn't really got anyone to aim for in the box. Has to hold on to the ball. Nakamura, who's dispossessed by Yamazaki. That looks to be offside, and it is right in front of us, Shasi. We got a good view of that one.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Yep, exactly. And again, that's what they're very dangerous, Hougang, on the transition. That early ball looking for Doi, and thankfully for Tampines, the line was a good one this time.
The issue is, it is not the quickest back line in the world, is it?
Yep.
This Tampines one.
Exactly.
And when you play high like that, and you've got the speed of Doi, it's dangerous, isn't it?
And just going to that as well, Nakamura lost the ball out in the middle of the park, and that's when they are dangerous, you know, the opponents, that is. And when they find that long ball, and if it's accurate enough for Doi or even Gilberto, then it's going to be dangerous for Tampines.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that. Nakamura tries to pick a quick pass. Don't forget, you've also got the speed of someone like Shawal Anwar. Nakamura, he looks up, sees Kapitovic, just behind him. Now, Mark Ryan Tan, Kapitovic back to Nakamura. The shot is well wide in the end.
Well, it's a wonderful response from Tampines, and that man there, number 8, this man, Nakamura, he's calling the shots, pulling the strings in the middle of the park, and Hougang, they've got to do better. They've got 3 in the middle. They've got to go in quicker on that guy there. And his shot just dragged it wide. Good play again from Tampines. Mark Ryan Tan has done well also down the right-hand side.
Well, that goal from Mehmedovic means that Tampines have scored in 51 straight matches in the SPL, dating back to March 2019. It's a good ball out to Tomoyuki Doi from the tight angle, and he's done well. Brilliant goal from the SPL's top marksman, number 17 this season.
Again, what a goal. Great finish, composure. And then, I said this before the game, you can't give that man time and space. And that was given. And the defense went to sleep again. Just a straight ball over the top. There you go, Hafiz Sujat. Daniel Bennett beaten. The cover from Ryan Sanizal and even Madhu a little bit too late. And then, look at that finish. And that's a sign of a great striker. We're talking about crisis. What crisis for Doi? 17 goals.
No wonder Clementio wants to retain him for next season. And we have had 3 goals in 18 minutes here. It is that kind of game at the moment. But as you said, Shasi, he's not someone you want to give any kind of time and space to, because he will exploit. I'll remind you that when these two sides played on the 3rd of April, Doi scored 2 goals inside the first 22 minutes. It was 2-0 at that point. Kapitovic scored right off the kickoff. In the 23rd, it was 2-1. And then in the second half, Hougang ran away with it. And 2-1 is what we have right now. Let's see how this shapes up. There's that press you're talking about.
It's good to see if you're a Hougang fan or, you know, if the coach.
Oh, he's done well here, Kapitovic. Got past Fabian Kwok, who's trying to win that ball back. Not quite a good pass from Kapitovic to Bosniak. There's Amirul. Now Mehmedovic. He's gonna, it looks like he was gonna take a shot. Try to slip that through. Oh, toe poke from Kapitovic.
Well, we're on the edge of our seats here.
End to end.
Yeah, good game this. And Mehmedovic again, very instrumental. And then the last touch from Shawal actually gave the ball into Kapitovic and tried to toe poke the ball because he didn't have that time and space, and he did ever so well. But he's one does well to hold on to the ball.
Here's Naufal. He's lost the ball to Nakamura. Touch on from Madu Mohana. Now Mark Tan. Oh, he's done really well to get past Josiah. I think both fullbacks for Hougang are having a bit of a torrid time at the moment.
Exactly, and that's very good play from Mark Ryan Tan there on the right-hand side, going past his opponent easily. Going to be a good battle down that side as well.
Cross, little dinked one from Madu. Mark Tan has done well here, trying to cut it back. Lionel Tan with an important touch to deny Mehmedovic. Again, they respond pretty well here, Tampines Rovers, after going down. Madu with a low cross set. Lionel Tan gets away. Here's Josiah, who's under a bit of pressure. He's done well, isn't he? As he won that cleanly, Madu Mohana.
Yeah, Josiah wanted to foul there and tackle from Madu from behind. It wasn't given, but I think it's going to be a throw-in for Hougang.
I've got to say, as good as the responses have been from Tampines after conceding, the inquest should be about the way they're conceding these goals in the first place.
Yeah, of course. And they don't want to be conceding every time. Of course, they have the firepower up top to win games, you know, and score 3 if the opponent scored 2, but you can't do it all the time.
They have now conceded more goals this season than the previous worst in 2013, when they played more games. But there's no doubt they are the most entertaining team to watch in that sense, because... Oh, great shot on the volley! Gilberto Fortunato feeding his strike partner. He took it first time. And that is a wonderful goal from Tomoyuki Doi.
Wow. That is a mark of a world-class striker. Look at that. Brilliant goal. And that's Doi, number 9 for Hougang. The way he took it, and he knew he had to take it first time. Look at this, the ball from Gilberto. Look at that finish. First time ever on the volley. The goalkeeper had no chance to react. Look at that. Right in the corner, and you got to give credit to Gilberto as well. Wasn't that a beautiful assist? Look at that finish. Wow.
I asked you, Shasi, in the pre-match whether Doi would like a strike partner with him.
Good question.
I think he would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Then
they're playing like that.
Exactly. And what a goal it was as well.
Now, Shasi, the question I have to ask you, because I mean, I keep saying, look how many goals we've had at this timing. It's 23 minutes on the board. You're Hougang United. You are 3-1 up, but you have seen that Tampines can come at you.
Yeah.
What would you kind of look at now, like if you're from the Hougang camp? You see that they've got their coaching staff right on the edge.
It's tough, isn't it? You up 3-1, probably against a team that's probably going to score another one or going forwards. I think at this stage, early stage, just play the same way.
Okay.
You can't change things, and go crazy.
So you're saying don't go conservative, right? Don't go into a shell.
Just play as you are, and then in the second half, then you can try to change it and tweak it a little bit.
Ball in from Bosniak, the assistant coach for Daus on the edge of the area. We know that Tampines can still hit you where it hurts. They have got the attackers to do it. Got to keep their focus here. Nice ball in from Ahmedovic to Nakamura. Shawal Anwar, you asked for him to come back and help out a little bit more.
Yeah. And that's kudos to Shawal and the coaching staff as well to recognize the fact that he has to do it, and that's his responsibility, and he's done that.
Shazaya, if he can't stop the man legally, well...
I tell you what, he's... How tall is Kapitovic? He's probably the tallest after George Filipe from the Lion City Sailors, but tough man to stop.
Ensar Bruncevic.
Oh yes, of course. Yep.
Giant, isn't he?
Yep.
Ahmedovic with this free kick, good shape on it. Gilberto Fortunato. Well, he's done his defensive duty as well,
exactly,
I suppose.
And he meant it.
By the way, Shasi, you said for sure Fabian meant that first goal. Love to ask him. Love to ask him.
Yeah, he meant it.
Well, we've had some very good goals here. If you've just joined us, a warm welcome at the Hougang Stadium. And Hougang are leading against Tampines Rovers 3-1 already. Ball up to Yasser Hanapi. It has been a fantastic game. End-to-end stuff. Now, he's gone down here, Farhan. It looked like a high boot. Was there any contact?
It wasn't given, wasn't it? And it's going to be a throw-in. There's no free kicks, as you can see it here. Yase, that's a high boot. Definitely a high boot there from Yase. Yase knew it as well. But he wasn't given. He got to play to the whistle. But to me, it was...
well, it's a drinks break. Probably a welcome drinks break.
for Tampines, at least, you know.
Okay, I asked you about the... Here's the goals. Let's have a look at those goals against Shashi. Take us through this one.
Oh,
this Doi goal.
Yeah, and again, if you're looking in the Tampines point of view, it was too easy, wasn't it? The ball just over the top. First time ball to Doi, and then the cover wasn't there from Ryan Sanizal. And I see it from the first goal as well, Doi's first goal. The combination in the middle is not working because when one goes, one has got to cover. And the cover isn't there, or when it's there, it's not fast enough. So that's the problem that they have, Tampines.
Tell me about that striker's instinct to hit that first time, because many might have tried to take that down and then go for it. But to hit that first time into that corner.
Dad, I know you and me would have tried to control, take a first touch, second touch, and then try to do something. But listen, that is a striker for you. He's a natural striker. He knew where the goal is. He knew where the goalkeeper was. He knew at the angle where the ball was coming at, and the finish, absolutely brilliant.
So Farhan is coming back on. He's okay. Quick drinks break. Will that mean perhaps a refreshed Tampines Rovers, because they desperately need to get back into this game? To be fair, they haven't been outplayed, have they? Just looked a bit soft at the back, but they've looked decent going forward.
Yeah, they're going forward, and we've already said that. You know, they can score goals, the second highest goal scorers in the league, and they know how to go forward.
Just try to slip that ball through Ahmedovic to Kapitovic, but good interception from Fabian Kwok. Here's Tan. Return ball from Ahmedovic. It's just going to run away from Mark Tan.
There, Hougang just got to concentrate on those two magicians in the middle, Nakamura and Ahmedovic, just stop them from playing, and I think they stand a very good chance of, you know, at least stopping the attacks from the root. And to be fair, that's what they're trying to do.
Well, you may be hearing the Hougang Hools at the moment. They're certainly enjoying themselves. It's adding to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's really good once again as we talk about that in a short while, because here comes Hafiz Sujad, who's looking for the man who wants to get his hat-trick. But it's Gilberto Fortunato who gets there first.
Another good piece of play there, this time down the right, left-hand side. And Hafiz Sujat, again, with that cross, he knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to flick it with his right boot. Just couldn't get that contact right. Again, good play from Hougang, and just do get the feeling that every time they go forward, there's always going to be a chance being created.
Forward by Farhan. Amirul. Yeah, just going back to that point about fans. You know, the last couple of live games we've had at Jalan Besar was Lion City Sailors and Hougang. That was fantastic atmosphere, Shasi. I know you certainly enjoyed watching that.
Yep.
And now you're here with that. We're out here in Hougang. What a great, so good to see the stands full again.
This is it, isn't it? This is what players want to do. They want to play in front of crowds and what have you. And this is what the crowd wants to see as well. You know, good football, open play, loads of goals.
Can't ask for much more than that. Here's Madu Mahana. There you go. Hafiz not giving up the ghost. Well, has he judged that?
It's a back pass.
To be a back pass. We'll just have another look at that. I'm not sure how that's a back pass. He was just trying to get rid of it, wasn't he?
Well, the angle that his foot was, he definitely looked like he tended to play it back all the way.
So you agree with the referee's decision on that?
No, I can see why it was given. You know, I can see why it was given. So if you are the goalkeeper, if you're not sure, you just got to put it out.
Why
even
take that chance?
Yeah.
And he wasn't under that much pressure,
exactly.
right?
He could have controlled the ball, or this is going to be madness if Hougang scores here from this position, and what a position as well to be in.
Well, Mehmedovic let the referee know his thoughts on that decision, and he's been punished for it. So far as he's just looked a little tentative, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, these are always. I love these situations. You don't see them very often.
But more often than not, they don't end up in a goal. You know, and I think he's been given a yellow card, Mehmedovic, for doing that.
Actually, it's not dissent, isn't it? It's for kicking the ball away.
Yep.
They are. Well, there's no point arguing this decision now. Just got to focus on the defending now, right? Just line men across the box, across the goal.
That's probably what they're going to do. Got some big men in there as well, but a couple of small guys in there, Nakamura and.
I don't want to be facing that from about 8 yards out.
And if Doi is going to take this.
So the obvious thing is just a little touch from Kaishu and then smash.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do.
And you go aerial.
Yeah. But then if the so-called wall jumps and then you place it under, then it will be the cleverest play in the world.
Let's have a look. Hat-trick on here for Tomoyuki Doi. I really would not want to be one of those guys defending. They haven't touched the ball yet. Got to get back there, Boris Kapitovic. They're going to rush out. This could well be 4-1. Well, it's got to get back, surely. And he just makes no mistake. Tomoyuki Doi rifles it into the top corner for his hat-trick. And Hougang United's fourth. It's delight here at the Hougang Stadium.
Well, it did go above all the players, and it's 4-1 here. A hat-trick as well for Tomoyuki Doi. And listen, it was, again, too easy. And just right on the roof of the net, and there's no way you're going to stop that. A little touch, boom. There's no way anybody's going to stop that. And
fairly understated from Tomoyuki Doi, but he is clearly enjoying himself.
And his favorite team to play against as well, Tampines.
Yeah, he really has had a fantastic time scoring against them 5 times in the last 3 appearances.
I'm just looking at the Tampines side, and you do feel that they enjoy going forward. They're always going to enjoy doing that, going forward, playing the football that they do. And even now, even after going down 4-1, you see them attacking, players on the ball, possession of play. But I just don't know what that can do for confidence. You know, you go down 4-1, you haven't won in 11 games, and this happens. It's tough. It's tough.
And as we said, Shasi, it's it's pretty big defeats every time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's got to be hurting at the moment. It's the nature of those defeats. Kapitovic getting past his man, and that's really good goalkeeping by Iswan, but the danger is not over yet. Was there a foul on Kapitovic? No, they are saying it's a goal kick.
It was a great initial turn by Kapitovic, very strong in the turn there. He rolled his man and got an effort on goal, but Iswan came off his line very quickly. Good save. We'd love to see this again, but it's a goal kick. And there you see again an example of Tampines, the way they play. They're always going to go forward, creating chances.
Iswan facing his old side since leaving Tampines Rovers at the end of 2017. Last time he met them was when he was playing for Young Lions in 2011, when they lost 4-1 the old Tampines Stadium. He's done it again. Another nice save off Kapitovic. Armin Bosniak tries to come for the rebound. They've got Naufal on this right-hand side for a minute. Here is Farhan. He swapped with Shawal. Armin Bosniak. Now Nakamura. Here's Amirul. Needed to be a better cross than that. Easy for Lionel Tan.
Oh, it was good defending from Kaizu. Initially from Armin. But he got to be a little bit closer to Armin now to stop him from crossing the ball.
Oh, he's free,
Offside.
but it's offside. Kapitovic. He doesn't quite agree. It's a long, long glare at the assistant.
Yeah, the cross comes in from Nakamura, and yeah, he's behind Lionel there. And either way, ball was straight at goalkeeper Iswan. Clement just not happy with the defending at the moment. The crossing comes in.
Sorry, Shasi.
Yeah.
I just wonder whether that's why maybe they've got Naufal here?
Yeah, they switched sides, Naufal and Shawal. And Naufal is going over on this side, to the right-hand side.
Here is the aforementioned Naufal, Gilberto. One back by Yasser. That's a nice ball into that. Try and look for that pocket of space. Lionel Tan's read that well to deny Armin Bosniak.
Wow, that's great covering from Lionel. Good work there.
Back to Bosniak, as we've seen, he's probably had the most touches today for anyone on the Tampines side.
Offside.
You like the organisation there?
Yeah, and then offside as well, and organisation is very good. And you look at the two centre backs; they are close together. And Lionel's gone down. You don't want to be missing him at the back.
Oh, this is not good, is it? They've already lost Maksat Jakibaliev.
And Anders as well.
And this is not here. That's a good point. They don't have a natural centre back.
Well, the next thing they could do is just put Kaizu in the middle of defence and then bring in
That's a good
Afiq Noor. I don't know exactly what happened there. Probably the last bit of action where he covered Farhan Zulkifli. With a good defending there.
Now have a look at that fourth goal, Shasi.
Yeah, you're always going to be. It's always going to be tough defending against a free kick like this, so close to your goal, and thinking, should all of them rush out? It doesn't matter anymore, and leading by 4-1 here. Tampines with all to do. It looks okay, Lionel.
Yeah, that'll be a bit of relief. It's just his thigh that he was just feeling it now, but he's going to come back on. Just a bit thin on resources in central defence at the moment. Shawal can't quite keep that in. Here's Nakamura. They can pull one back before half-time. That might just give them a sliver of hope. Up from Mehmedovic, marked on, first time. Bosniak with his right foot. No real power in that shot, and it's Lionel Tan in the way anyway. Madu Mohana. Now Nakamura slips that through to Yasir. Goal kick is the decision.
Yeah, those intelligent balls played by Nakamura and Mehmedovic there, just slipping those balls into the channels for, Bosniak as well as Mark Ryan Tan. So Hougang got to watch that. If they can't stop the first ball, then they've got to follow the runners. And this is the one, Mark Ryan Tan played it in for Amin.
Dan Bennett getting on the end of that header. Here's Tan. Skips past Fortunato quite easily up towards Yasir. No foul. Yasir's done well here. Puts a nice ball in. Oh, what a save that is. Kopitovic's header parried away by Izwan Mahmud.
Firstly, what a ball. And secondly, what a header. And lastly, what a save by Izwan there. Absolutely brilliant save. Like the one he did against LCS, wasn't it? Look at this. What a cross. And Kopitovic, you can't say anything much about that header. And then the save by Izwan. That's why he's Singapore's #1.
And that is exactly why Hougang can't rest just yet, because they still remain a goal threat, Tampines Rovers, with 5 minutes or so left in this first half. They're plugging away. Doi, lovely work from him. Up to Gilberto. He's shrugging off the attentions of Amirul, and there's a touch there. Good touch from Dan Bennett. Rolling back the years, really good tackle from him, important one. You see Coach Firdaus is absolutely livid. Take us through that one. As the flag had gone up, but here he's done well here. Kopitovic, can he take the shot? Is it going to clear it off the line? No, it's not. And Kopitovic has scored. Well, that's transitioned so quickly, one end to the other.
Wow.
A lot going on in that goal.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Everything's going on. We're talking about Hougang nearly scoring a goal, and then it's offside.
Well, I didn't see a flag go up, did you? They've given the goal now.
The goal is given.
There seemed to be some confusion as to whether they were going to award the goal or not. They played the advantage here. There's no foul on Bosniak.
Yeah, as long as it was onside, it's definitely a goal, and it's been given. So it's 4-2.
What a game this is. Well, we said a second goal might just give them a sliver of hope, Shasi.
Exactly, and Kopitovic there going around Izwan easily and then slotting the ball home.
Boris Kopitovic's 15th goal of the season.
And you got to say it came after good defensive work from Dan Bennett from the other side.
Whoa, just take a breath here. This is incredible stuff. The confirmation then is Boris Kopitovic, who has got that second goal for Tampines Rovers.
Well, there's still loads of time, and Hougang, they've got to be careful here. Playing with a very high line, and look at that, Bosniak threw in.
He got a touch there, didn't he? Izwan. Let's come off the woodwork, and on the rebound. It's just over from Kopitovic. I think he was just reacting off the rebound.
I tell you what, Izwan made another brilliant save there from that attempt down this left-hand side. You've got to look at this again from Armin Bosniak. It's a very, very high line, and playing dangerously here, Hougang. This is the one, he went past Izwan.
He did well to get that little touch, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and I think he got a touch here. Yeah, was it a bar? It's very difficult to say, but oh, this is a great game, isn't it, to watch? And
you know what? I think it's almost guaranteed goals in the second half, Chassis.
And we don't want the first half to end as well.
Yep. Absolutely. We're getting word that it will be 3 minutes of added time. That's great.
It could be 4-4 in the first half.
Well, Chassis, you did say there would be plenty of goals in this one. Ryan Sanizal is Amirul Haikal. Naufal. And space there for Gilberto. Pushes that towards Hafiz Sujad. Oh, there's a bit of fight here in Tampines Rovers. Mark Tan's done well. Here's Kapitovic. Was there a foul by Mehmedovic on Farhan? Lovely work from Gilberto. Fortunato doesn't quite get to Kaishu, can't run onto it. Farhan is still on the ground, by the way.
Yeah, he'll do well to stay down and just run the clock now for Hougang, because they are a bit of under a little bit of pressure here, Hougang. This is the incident. Nah, I think it was just a little bit of grace to his shin, but he should be up soon.
Well, 3 minutes now, probably be a little bit more after this stoppage.
Well, at the moment, I think Hougang would want the half to end and then just go back and regroup a little bit. As long as the score stays at 4-2, I think they'll be all right.
The instruction here would be to take your time, right?
Yeah,
slow
definitely.
it down a little bit, disrupt the momentum that Tampines clearly have at the moment. So play will resume up the other end. It's going to be a throw-in for Hougang. Naufal looking for Gilberto. Kyoga Nakamura in the way. Hafiz Sujad with a rather innocuous shot from the edge of the area. Here's Nakamura. Quick touch on by Yasser. A lot of attention on Kapitovic from Fabian. He's taken that quickly. Nice to see the urgency from Tampines. Here's Bosniak. Mehmedovic. Quick passing here. Bosniak! Oh, that's really good defending from Farhan. Got across, because that looked like it was goal-bound.
And again, great play, you know, good intricate passing just at the edge of the box, and then that final ball from Mehmedovic. I mean, at the end of it, just think that he should have done. Look at that. Brilliant from Farhan. Absolutely brilliant.
Away at that near post from Kaishu. Nakamura, this is a very, very good last couple of minutes for Tampines Rovers as they look to get goal number 3. But remember, this is what could happen on the transition. Here is Doi. Oh, wonderful footwork. And it's scrambled away by Amirul Haikal. We've had the 3 minutes. There will be a little bit more for the injury stoppage for Farhan.
Yeah, they just got to sort out the defending part against Kopitovic in the second half. You know, he's just rolling the players on, and he's very strong as well. So they've got to.
Would you say that you wouldn't want the defenders too touch tight
Yes,
on him.
yes, exactly. You can't, especially if it's too big and you can't see the ball as well. So you just got to give him a little bit of space.
Once again, Drew Herman, referee there, has let play continue. I think he's done a pretty decent job so far.
Yeah, especially for that goal where he just gave away gave the advantage.
Well, I think that has to rank as one of the most entertaining first halves we've had this season in the Singapore Premier League. Your final thoughts before we go for a break, Shashi Kumar?
Wow, great game, great entertainment for the fans, for us as well, and for the neutrals. So let's hope we have a great second half as well.
Tomoyuki Doi hat-trick coming after Fabian Kwok got things going in the 4th minute. Tampines Rovers hit back with a couple of goals from their foreign signings, Zerun Memedovic and Boris Kapitovic. But it has been a breathless first half here at Hougang Stadium. The halftime score is Hougang United 4, Tampines Rovers 2. Very warm welcome back to Hougang Stadium here. What a match we've had. You cannot take your eyes off the pitch at the moment because Hougang are leading Tampines Rovers 4-2. Shashi, as you said, you didn't want that first half to end. How entertaining was that?
Exactly. It's a great advert for the Singapore Premier League, great for the neutrals, great for us during the game, but bad for the coaches. You know, you're going to have a headache, you're going to have a heart attack.
Well, there's so much happening. We're going to try and make our way through these highlights. Very, very eventful, as you'll see. But it all started when they tried to play out from the back, Shashi.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk about Tampines always trying to go out from the back. But then again, you got to talk about the finish as from Fabian Kwok as well. We were talking about whether he meant it. I'm sure he meant it. Ask him after the game. But, you know, it was a good finish. But trying to play out from the back, it's all fine and good. But you got to do it properly. And this is what happens if a mistake happens.
What a wonderful, wonderful goal that was from Fabian Kwok inside the 4th minute with the new keeper in. Zulfaris, of course, he's taken over from Shazwan, who is injured.
And you talk about the finish as well. The ball is bobbling on the pitch as well.
So, look, the response was a pretty good one, wasn't it, from Tampines Rovers? They came right at Hougang, and this, what about an individual effort like that from Memedovic?
Exactly, and you want all your creative players to be on top of their game, and this one guy was definitely, especially going forwards, and he did that. You thought that the referee did a very good thing, giving the advantage for that foul. Memedovic, what a finish. Just going past Lionel Tan at the end there. Wonderful piece of skill, and then Izwan had no chance with the finish.
2 goals inside the first 10 minutes, and then we made it to 2-1. Tomo Kidoi, the hot shot in the SPL from that angle.
Yeah,
What a finish.
And again, a little bit too easy for my liking, because it was just a straight ball over the top. I think Ryan Saniza couldn't get there, couldn't get across, because Daniel Bennett was already onto the man in the middle. And then, like I said, you talk about breaking the duck. He broke the duck there with a very good finish.
Quite often we saw a ball forward from Kaishu Yamazaki. What about that? Possibly the best goal of this first half.
Yeah, exactly, I think so. And what a good finish, wasn't it? And we talk about it was a little bit, again, too easy if you're a Tampines fan or a Tampines coach. But then a little bit too easy, but great finish, wasn't it? The assist from Gilberto and the finish right at the end.
Yeah, wonderful to see the two strikers working together. Now this was adjudged to be a back pass from Mehmedovic to Zulfairuz, and you thought that there was a case for it.
Yeah, that was a case because the last touch was from Mehmedovic, and if you just look at off the camera there, you look at Firdaus just pointing quickly at the goalkeeper, saying there was a back pass. But then Doi does this, with a very good finish, and obviously very difficult to defend from this situation.
So at that point, of course, it was 4-1, but you have to give credit to Tampines Rovers. They kept plugging away. And Kapitovic did well, rounded his man.
Yeah.
There was a bit of confusion as to whether this goal was going to be given, but still, this made it 4-2.
Yeah, it was, and it was a good goal as well. If you're looking at Kapitovic, the way he went, rounded the goalkeeper, and as soon as he went round the goalkeeper, you always thought he was going to score the goal. It was easy in the end, and then, Hougang was in a little bit of pressure at the end there.
Now, when we look back at this, I asked you right after the whistle, as we see this goal here from Boris Kapitovic, as a coach, would you be quite frustrated from the defensive displays you've seen?
Of course. Any coach would be disappointed with the way they've defended. And you look at the stats here, you look at the shots on goal. Look at Tampines Rovers' shots on target, on goal, 16. But then the shots on target is 7. But then, it's always the result, isn't it, that matters. And Hougang leading by 4 goals to 2. But great first half if you're a Hougang fan. And, I think the way to go in the second half is to remain the way you've been playing in the first half.
Now, let's remind you, of course, there's another game happening at the moment that has big bearing on the title race. Albrechts Nagata are a goal up against Geylang International at the Jurong East Stadium. And as it stands, they would have an 8-point lead against Lion City Sailors, who, of course, in action tomorrow against Young Lions. We'll take a short break. When we return, it'll be the second half of this wonderful match, breathtaking game between Hougang United and Tampines Rovers. Welcome back to Hougang Stadium, where we have had goals galore in the first half. Hougang United are 4-2 up against Tampines Rovers in a highly entertaining game. It's been end-to-end stuff. And if you just saw the stats earlier, while Tampines are trailing in this game, they've had double the number of chances that Hougang have had. But Hougang have really made the most of it, Shasi Kumar. They've scored, well, they've had 5 shots on target out of the 8 in total.
Yeah, and seriously, it doesn't matter what the stats tell you. The most important thing is you make use of your shots, you make use of your possession, and you make them count. So at the moment, Hougang, they're looking good, but defensively as well, they got to tighten up a little bit. It's basic. As long as there's no one pressurizing the man on the ball, people like Mehmedovic and people like Nakamura, the defensive line has got to hold off, drop a little bit deeper, because they are treading the ball through for Armin Bosniak, they're treading the ball in for Mark Ryan Tan, and that's where Tampines, they are dangerous. And of course, the other thing is Kopitovic, he rolls off his defenders, uses his body very well, his size and his physicality. So he rolls his defender very well. So the defenders, people like Fabian Kwok and Lionel Tan, they've got to drop off a little bit, give him a little bit of space, and then when the ball comes to him, and then you go a little bit touch tight. But apart from that, I think Hougang are doing very well, because on the break, they've always got a very good chance of scoring goals. Shawal Anwar has been good, and obviously the Brazilian Gilberto and Doi.
Yeah, right now, we're just waiting to see if there are any changes that are going to happen. It does look like Afik Noor is going to come on. That's something you had talked about, and that was only if Lionel Tan was not going to return.
And is Lionel Tan, we're just getting confirmation. It looks like he isn't on the pitch. He is.
He was just on the technical area.
Yeah, we'll just get confirmation.
Yeah.
It could be Naufal who's going off.
We're getting word of a substitution that is being made. And we can tell you that Hougang are making a couple. Nazrul Nazari is in for Josiah Pua. And if you just bear with us, Afik Noor is coming in for Naufal Azman. So it is not going to be Lionel Tan.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the second half.
So 2 changes. So they're going with more experienced players there, Shasi.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's going to be, that's a very smart move, you got to say. Afik comes in the middle, solidifying that central midfield area. Naufal will go off, and Afik will probably play with Kaishu Yamazaki in the middle of the park. Shawal out wide, Hafiz Sujat as well in a wider position. And then Nazrul Nazari, he will come in and probably play at right back, and then forces Farhan to go back to his left back position. So very smart move. Defensively, Nazrul Nazari, safe, national player as well.
Nazrul Nazari, of course, a natural full-back, plenty of pace to burn there, Shasi.
Yeah.
We'll be very happy to have his experience on Singapore International. You'd expect Farhan to go to left-back now.
Yeah, and then Nazrul Nazari will go to that right-back position, as you can see. It looks like Nazrul is playing down the left-hand side, so it's still the same. Farhan will be still at that right-back position. And interesting to see that Tampines hasn't made any changes.
Are you a bit surprised by that?
Yeah, a little, but they still got a couple of players who can come in. Huzaifa, who has been out for a very long time. Taufik Suparno is another one who, if you're looking for goals, and then he's the next one to come in.
Is one. Pulled off some pretty good saves, didn't he, in that first half? Hafiz. Return ball from Tomoyuki Doi. Amrul Haikal. Here's Mari Mohana. Looking for Zeruddin Mehmedovic, who had a very good first half. Mark Tan, no foul. Looked across at the assistant.
Nazrul Nazari had an important touch there.
So it's interesting that Nazrul is going to be at left back and Farhan at right back. They've persisted with that experiment. And that runs away from Mark Tan. What do you make of that?
But having said that, you know, the later stages of the first half, I think Zul or Farhan Zulkifli did very well. I think he was one of the better players at Hougang. So, you know, why fix something that ain't broke? So we're probably going with the same formation, only Josiah, the inexperienced one, going out. Of course, you got to see the under-23 rules in play as well. So he's gone out and Nazrul Nazari comes in.
Away by Iswan Mahmood, who you would feel would be under a lot of pressure in the second half, given the reaction we saw from Tampines Rovers towards the end of the first. Here's Armin Bosniak, who also had a very good first half. Mehmedovic slips it in to Kopitovic, who's cut inside. And that's come off Lionel Tan. Back to Kopitovic. Mehmedovic has done so well to thread those balls into him.
He's just like a little magician. You don't exactly know where he's going to play the ball. And I don't think his teammate knows as well sometimes. He just plays those reverse balls with his right foot there. Again, Kopitovic on the end of that pass. And again, obviously, one thing on his mind.
Oh, that's a shot that flies over. Dan Bennett getting involved in the attack.
Yeah, Dan Bennett couldn't keep it down from the corner. Good start from Tampines in this second half. Just trying to test the Hougang defense out.
Nice touch on from Mehmedovic. Gilberto can't quite keep it in. We kind of expected this response, didn't we, in the second half from Tampines, that they'll be going all out. They have to go for it, really.
And you can already see the wide players of Hougang just dropping off a little, not wanting to press high up the pitch. Just probably the same like the game plan against LCS, the last game.
Kaishu again, that ball, it's not going to hold up for Tomoyuki Doi. Dan Bennett to Kyoga Nakamura. Now Dan Bennett. Pace not quite the same as it was. Intensity of that first half. Here's Armin Bosniak. Duran Salizal in there. Here's Doi trying to do his part from the front. Nazrul Nazari. Now Fabian Kwok. Has he just overhit that? Yeah, he has for Hafiz Sujad. Good bit of urgency we're seeing from Tampines at the moment.
Yeah, they have to give it a go here. They just come rest on the score and they got to get that 3 points, and now down by 4-2 as well. No choice really.
Hafiz slips that in to Doy's talisman. Oh, and that is an important save. Double save, in fact, from Zulfairuz. That could well have been goal number 5.
Yeah, there you go again. As soon as Hougang breaks, they are always going to create those chances and clear chances as well. You just thought that when Doy turned his man there, it's 100% a goal. Good save from the goalkeeper.
And that will have helped his confidence, Zulfairuz, and has redeemed himself, you feel, from only a couple of mistakes. Shawal, Doy, nice piercing ball through to Hafiz. That cross is cut out by Zulfairuz.
A good play from Hougang there, good passage of play, good pass as well. And Hafiz Sujat couldn't just cut the ball back enough. This was the turn, again, lovely turn. Just taking 2 men out with that turn alone. He went for the rebound as well. That was a good challenge in the middle from Dan Ben.
And that really would have done him a world of good. Nice touch on. He's playing with confidence, isn't he, at the moment, Zeradin Mehmedovic. Ball over the top. That's going to be tough to get to Armin Bosniak.
Yeah, that was well shepherded out there by Farhan Zulkifli. And the ball wasn't the best. Just like to see Armin Bosniak going on the outside more often instead of just cutting in all the time. Just go outside a couple of times and then cutting in. Just give Farhan Zulkifli more questions to answer. And at the moment, a little bit too direct and see what he's going to do.
A lot of time still in this game for Tampines to get themselves back into it. As we said, we expected more goals in the second half. It's not quite as free-flowing as perhaps the first, but still, we've already seen goal-mouth action inside the first 10 minutes of the second 45. Trying to give a no-look pass there, was he, Mark Tan? Here's Kaishu. Still Kaishu. Stopped in his tracks by Ryan Sanizal.
It looked like a foul there just before he went down, and referee waves play on, and Tampines go on the other side now.
Hafiz. Was there a challenge on him by Yasser? The referee thinks so.
Hafiz there. The way he went down, you can see Yasser not happy there. No contact at all there. You can see from the replays.
Here's Armin Bosniak trying to weave his way through as a foul by Farhan.
Yeah, good run there from Armin Bosniak. Just trying to make things happen down the left-hand side. Tampines aim to make another substitution.
No doubt about the foul from Farhan on Bosniak, who wanted a booking.
He gets it. He did get the yellow card, Farhan.
Confirmation of that booking, as we said. And we're being told that the first change to be made, Mark Ryan Tan is going to be out, and as you mentioned, Taufik Suparno would come on to add more firepower. Gilberto trying to find Shawal Anwar. It's probably been a little bit quiet today.
Very, very much so. They're not in the game at all, especially in the second half here.
I suppose a lot of it was having to track back, wasn't it?
Exactly, with Armin Bosniak on that side and then on the other side as well. With Mark Ryan Tan going forward.
Now that change hasn't happened yet for Tampines Rovers. We were getting news of it, but for now, not made. Here's Nazwa Nazari to Fabian Kwaku, clears. Got to be careful playing it out like this. They know they can get into trouble here. Tampines Rovers, they were caught out in the first half, but they've got away with this one. And it's a chance here for Kapitovic. They try to play a high line here, Hougang Kapitovic. And he slides that past. Iswan Mabud.
There you go, that high line. And then that true ball. As soon as Kapitovic goes past the last man, nobody's going to get through him. And at the end of the day, it's all about composure, whether he can finish it off. And he does it so easily. There, that clipped ball from Armin Bosniak went past Lionel there. Lionel, there's no way he's going to catch up, and then finished it nicely. Tucked in below the goalkeeper, down the goalkeeper's right. 4-3.
Now on his 16th goal, 4-3. Boy, this is going to get a little edgy now for Hougang. Kapitovic's second of the game and his 16th this season. Here comes Mehmedovic. They'll have the wind in their sails now, Tampines Rovers. Would you say panic stations just yet now for Hougang?
Not yet at the moment.
Lovely play from Doi. Here's Hafiz. We saw the little gap there. And Gilberto with a heavy touch.
Yeah, to be fair, it was a difficult ball to control. Not very difficult ball to control on the chest as well. And he had Doi at the back as well. Doi wanted that initial ball, the early ball on the ground. Hafiz Sujat couldn't find him.
Well, Tampines are sensing blood. They're going to bring on Taufik Suparno shortly.
Yeah, Hougang's got to think a little bit now, especially with playing with Gilberto and Doi up top. Very, very brave going with two men up top and then only two in the middle of the park with, and you can see here, look, there's too much space in the middle of the park with.
Here's Kapitovic. They're dangerous in these kind of positions. There was an ask for handball. Yasser Hanapi and Kyoga Nakamura, even Kapitovic now asking the question to the referee.
Well, here, if the decision goes, as the cut back there, the hand was on to his chest, but again, you've seen them given. But here in Singapore, if they're not given, you're not given because there's no VAR, and it's the change.
So, Mark Ryan Tan, who was very bright in the first half, is substituted and replaced by Taufik Suparno. So So they're going really for the jugular here. Tampines Rovers, they have to really. Header from Madu Mahana.
Well, Hougang they've got to do something, especially in the middle of the park here, because Afiq No and Kaishu Yamazaki, they're handling 3 players in the middle, like Nakamura, Yase, as well as Mehmedovic. So they've got to stem the tide, get somebody to drop in there. If they still want to stick with the combination of Doi and Gilberto, then either one of them have got to drop whenever they're defending. So that's the thing that they've got to do at the moment.
There is one other forward they can throw on later on. Tampines Rovers in Fazul Nawaz, a veteran. I suppose that'll be the last throw of the dice, just to see if we can give them a little bit more up top. Here's Shawal. Oh, given away now. The referee has blown before it gets to Kapitovic.
Yeah, this was the foul. Good footwork there from Shawal. Last challenge by Yase Hanapi. Says he got to the ball first. Nothing doing. Good defensive work from Taufik Suparno.
Foul, that stopped. A foul on Nazrul Nazari from Yasser.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit lucky here because that was the first mistake, and then a little bit overzealous there by Taufik Suparno, but the ball was there to be won. He won it, tried to go past Nazrul. He was just standing his ground. And Kaizu Yamazaki will take this.
Floats that up towards Gilberto Fortunato. Good touch on from Madu. It's low in the box. Lionel Tan pounces from the edge of the 6-yard. Rifles it to the roof of the net to give Hougang some breathing space here. It's 5-3 now.
Wow, and can't seem to catch a break here, Tampines. Every time they go one step forward, they take another step back, and this time Hougang got a little bit lucky from the rebound. Madu does well initially with the clearance from the header, and then Shawal with a shot, and the rebound went kindly to Lionel Tan's right foot, and he rifles the ball to the roof of the net. And like you said, another bit of breathing space here for Hougang.
Now, how is this match going to shape up? We've got about half an hour left, including some added time. I still say, Shasi, feels like there's going to be goals in this.
There is, I'm sure.
It's been that kind of game.
I'm happy I didn't jinx it at the beginning of the game.
Here's Nazrul Nazari. That looked like a really, really good tackle from Taufik Suparno. I tell you what, Clementino doesn't agree with it. Well, the referee belatedly blows the whistle. Now, who's that card going to be at? Given a yellow to Taufik, but it took a long time to make that call.
Well, that's a weird one for me. It took a long time. That's the only thing I was thinking, and he took out a red at first. Yep, and then this is the challenge from Taufik. Let's see whether
it was a trailing leg,
trailing leg, and it was off the ground as well. And I mean, no drama if he had given right away the foul, you know, and then the fact that why
there was
I think he had a call from the linesman. I think that's the only thing I can see why it was a late call. He had a call from the assistant referee.
There was also quite the reaction from the Hougang bench. I wonder if that also played into his thinking.
but again, that was a foul. He got the ball, but then let's put it right.
Yeah.
You know, his feet definitely were off the ground. You know, in this day and age, and in football nowadays, you can't do that, right? So
I think the Tampines players, because
it was late.
They they are just wondering why. But Nazrul Nazari, there's a few words being said to him by Boris Kopitovic, but it is a foul. I think you're absolutely right. We have to make that clear. It was a foul.
Yeah, and I think the players would just walk away and just that.
It's
the trailing right foot that
yeah.
went through him. No doubt Taufik went for the ball, got the ball, but then the trailing foot caught Nazrul. But of course, the late call made it all worse. Well, we don't mind a little bit of this.
Tell you what,
5-3 yellow cards here and there.
It has been that kind of game. We said it's going to get feisty.
Yeah.
Full of entertainment. Look at Yasser still having a go. He just needs to focus on the task at hand. Oh, that was a looping header.
Oh, it's a
Must have
foul.
already gone. Yep.
There's still time for 5-all.
But to be clear, you're not making that as a prediction, right?
No.
Ryan Sun is out. They're going to have to take risks now, aren't they, Shashi?
Yeah, I'm sure they have to, and that's where they will be vulnerable at the back. They're already vulnerable when it's at 0-0, right? So it's going to be worst off now, but they've got to, play it smart as well at the back.
Here's Armin Bosniak, plays a cross in. Yasser, Kopitovic can't turn and shoot. Shawal having to do his defensive duties. Foul on him by Bosniak, who also has to just keep his cool. There's frustration, everyone's on edge.
Yeah, and Shawal knew what he was doing there. Just bought the foul. Nicely done. But, I mean Bosniak, the only thing is his eyes weren't on the ball.
Well, the Hougang fans are doing whatever they can to get behind their players with about 20-odd minutes to go in this game. Still enough time to affect change in this result.
And it's the drinks break.
What do you think we'll be saying on either bench at the moment in this drinks break?
Well, I think as for Tampines, I just feel that Armin Bosniak can do a little bit more down the left-hand side, especially, like I said, not just cutting inside, just attack the fullbacks, go on the outside, get the cross in, get Kopitovic, especially just playing in and around the box, get into the box, go for the headers. And as for Hougang, like I said, just get somebody to play in the middle of the park together with Kazu and Afik in the middle. Just strengthen the midfield a little bit. But at the moment, the 2-goal cushion for Hougang looks good. They'll be pulling more away from Tampines in the league standings.
Yeah, remember, this result, if it stays this way, the pressure is on Tampines Rovers in terms of that spot for Asian football. They are currently in 4th place. That is good enough to get into the AFC Cup.
Crunching tackle from Madhu on Doi. Got that. Good tackle. He wins the throw-in as well.
Mind you that Tanjung Pagar will be 5 points behind Tampines Rovers. Still some work to do, of course, with not too many games left. 4 games after this. Mathematically still possible for them. Geylang International. I mean, mathematically even possible for the likes of Balasikasa and Young Lions to try and get that 4th spot. And that's the free fall that we have seen from Tampines Rovers, Shasi, with since May the 15th. Their last win in the league, the last win in any competition.
Yeah, and again, that's just, the effect has been really, really bad, and psychologically as well as football-wise.
It's a lovely ball, isn't it, to the path of Hafiz Sujan. That will fall behind. Gilberto takes a shot first time. Such is his confidence at the moment. Tomoyuki Doi. Still Doi. He's gone for goal again. So Fairuz. Oh, there's a mistake from the keeper. And he snaffles one there, Gilberto. It is 6-3 now. And real problems here for Tampines Rovers.
Well, I don't want to say this, it's a game, match and set, because there's still more than 15 minutes to go in this game. It all came from this guy here, Doi, with that short rebound. And again, goalkeeper. You've got to question the goalkeeper's positioning and as well as his decision-making here. He had to go out, got to grab it, got to be brave. And he wasn't.
Fred Zulfares has had a hand in 3 of the goals so far. Gilberto Fortunato has got on the score sheet. But Tampines themselves have a threat. You know what, Shashi? Even at this point, I can't say that there's going to be no more goals.
Yeah, you're very right, you know, and you can say that Tampines, if they do score one and then score another one, and it's game on again, so it's tough the way things are going. I want to see more of that from Armin Bosniak, going on the outside, getting the cross in. Always looks dangerous going forwards.
Yeah, that's his 2nd goal of the season. Gilberto Fortunato hasn't had the most prolific of times. Not really had too much of a go here in the SPL. Has had some injury issues and sickness. I'll be absolutely delighted with that. Three-goal deficit, Shasi.
Yeah,
it's a lot, isn't it?
Incidentally, you talk about the pressure on the coaching staff before the game, and he says there's no pressure, taking one game at a time, but there has to be pressure. As an individual, you know, as a coach as well, there's going to be pressure from the fans as well. And this is probably the first time in his tenure, Gavin, that he's facing that pressure of losing games.
I want to ask you, Shashi, because I think when you were coach, I think at that time you were the youngest coach around, right? When you were coaching in the S League, and Gavin now has that mantle.
Yeah.
Is there? Would you say because he's young and he's still fresh to the top flight of Singapore football, that there is more leeway given to him, or also where a club like Tampines Rovers, their expectations and demands are high as the back pass comes to Zulfares and he just about gets it away. And so that leash is a little bit shorter.
It could be, and you talk about it doesn't matter whether you're 40 or 30. If you're good enough, then you know you get employed, and then
the results are what matters most.
Yeah, you got to do the job. But I think we were in different circumstances. We're talking about you know, the team that he's taking, you are expected to win something, you know, silverware, titles, or be there and thereabouts, because it's Tampines after all.
Yes.
You know, so that is the problem. I wouldn't say a problem, but that is the fact. And there's always going to be pressure.
And as much as he's the bright young thing, the bright new thing in Singapore football at the moment, you just have to look at those results. Nazrul Nazari here. Now to Tomoyuki Doi. They are not ready to just sit back here. Hougang, they want more. And that looked like a very cynical challenge by Taufik Suparno. Now, this is a big statement of intent here, a big statement that Zulfairuz is going to get taken off. And it is going to be the third choice keeper coming on. And that is a big statement, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you do feel sorry, especially if you're a young goalkeeper, you know, and trying to make your name. And he's had a couple of starts already. And we talk about, you know, his confidence going low, but it has to end somewhere. You know, you got to make a decision, and the coaching staff has made that.
Now, I'll come back to, I want to ask you a question on that after this. We're going to have a free kick here. He's, so far as has not gone to the bench, he's seemingly going to the changing rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can't be easy for him. But we'll come back to that point in just a short while. As we see this Yamazaki, this Tomoyuki Doi free kick. And that will be a corner. As we see the corner set up here, Shasi, you know, your team is losing, you're 3 goals down here, you're probably, most likely going to lose this game. What does that say now? You're making this change with the goalkeeper because you want to affect change in the game still, but you're taking the goalkeeper off. He has made 3 mistakes in this game.
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it? What do you do if you take him out? Will he lose confidence? Will he quit football or something like that? You know, you got to think about such things. And at the moment, you got to start somewhere and say that probably enough is enough. And probably if you let in another goal here, it could go either way. You know, so yeah, he's made the decision, and
that's defended by Tampines Rovers, but it comes into the mix. Hafiz Sujad, oh, he's had a miss-hit. It doesn't matter. It's bubbled in. And the first job that the new keeper has to do, Daniel, is to take the ball out from the back of his goal.
Listen, this is a weird game, isn't it? You know, we've seen some absolutely brilliant goals, and then we see goals like that going in, and you know, you have to feel sorry a little bit. And he's onside, kick the ball against the ground like we've seen a couple of players do. But this one was by mistake. We've seen Ozil score something like that, you know, and kick it against the ground and scoring goals like that. But that one...
Must tell Hafiz that he has been mentioned in the same breath as Mesut Ozil. Hafiz Sujad then, confirmation of that 7th goal, my word. We've had 10 on aggregate here. And again, I'm just going to say, more goals? Still more goals to come?
I'm just looking at the clock, and there's there's more goals.
Yeah. They are looking very, very brittle, I'm afraid now. Tampines Rovers, it is not easy to pick yourselves up. Oh dear, and a back pass to Daniel. They are shot to pieces.
Yeah, it's the confidence, isn't it? It's gone. It's they're just crying out for the referee to blow the whistle right now.
Fortunately, they got 10 more minutes to withstand.
And the goalkeeper that's coming in as well. He's a young boy, and I don't think that's the goalkeeper's fault. The ball wasn't a good one.
Away by Dan Bennett. come forward again. Tampines Rovers. Madi Mohana is getting replaced here.
Substitution for Tampines Rovers FC, player 6, Madi Mohana,
Replaced by Andrew Au.
That ball was overhit or underhit, and Doi wasn't getting to that.
Well, how's the rest of this pan out? Here's Nazrul Nazari. Now bend it back to the youngster, Daniel. Oh. People are kind of groaning when the back pass is going to the keeper at the moment. There's going to be a change for Hougang as well now. Not bad to be able to bring on someone like Khairul Nizam on.
Yeah, exactly, and he hasn't played for the longest time, and injury prone. That's the problem.
So,
yeah, that's the problem.
So. For a great striker.
Exactly, he can score goals. Very strong as well.
The man who's going to come on is Gilberto Fortunato. He's going to go off at the other end. He's done his job.
Yeah, I think Gilberto has done well today. He scored a goal and then made that one for his striking partner, Tomoyoki Doi. Good game for Gilberto.
There's a bit of a tangle there. Will be a corner.
There was a chest down from wanted a foul there, but not given. It's a corner. Got to defend this, Hougang, and less than 7 minutes to go in this game.
That was Lionel Tan who got enough on that. Here's Zeradin Mehmedovic. Oh, that just skims across the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, he did, and he meant that as a cross. And miscued that one, hit the bar. Ball went out for a goal kick. And just looking at the overall performance, and right from the start, and this was the chance. Just right from the start, we were talking about Hougang being very brave, attacking with an attacking lineup. Of course, with those two players, Gilberto and Tomoyoki Doi, and it's panned out that way. We talked about Clement saying that he wants to be cautious against this Tampines side. And probably, I said before, contradicted himself with the lineup, but yeah, that's the way to go for Hougang, I feel. They've got the players.
Front foot, right? Yeah.
They've got the players to do damage. They've got to do it more often. And I dare say, if they've done this early on in the season, they would be up there with Albrechts and LCS.
I think it was just a nice little moment there with Khairul Nizam chasing down the ball. Come back to that in a minute as we see that rather innocuous shot in the end from Kapitovic, but Khairul Nizam's chasing down the ball.
Yeah.
You're 7-3 up.
Yeah, and again, that's being professional, and you just have to do your job. And Nakamura does well to come away from Doi.
It's just good hunger at the moment from this side.
And look where Doi is. He's playing as a left midfield. He's been unplayable today. My man of the match. You're just looking at the overall influence he had on the game with the goals.
Here's Nakamura. They just want it all to end right now. It has been painful. Away by Lionel Tan, because the result is no longer in question. It is now just about the margin of defeat for Tampines Rovers. And we look forward here. Shasi, there's 4 games left for Tampines. And make no mistake about it, they have a fight on their hands to hold on for Asian football.
Exactly, and what a shot!
Oh, that's not far away from Nakamura.
And kudos to Nakamura, still trying to make things happen for Tampines. But yeah, we've got what, 4 more games to go, and you can't make any personnel changes. That's you know, this is the end of the season. So the only thing is just get them together, believe in themselves. When you talk about organization, they got to get that right, and just see through the season. But it's been a very, very disappointing end to the season for Tampines.
Yeah, the poor ball, and that's blasted over by Shawal Anwar. What a chance to make it goal number 8.
Yeah, another goalkeeping error there. Tried to play it out, and then Shawal wanted to make it 8, wanted so badly to get on the scoreline. Again, there's no pressure there. Just play it out on the left-hand side. Play it simple, keep it simple. Even you are playing it out from the back, nearest man, he's free, play it to him, you know.
Fabian does enough to get it away. Cast your mind back to that opening goal in the 4th minute from him.
It's a long time back.
Yes. So much has happened since. We've had 9 goals since then. So foul there by Taufik.
But it's a good point. You talked about you know, the Doys and the Gilbertos and what have you, Shawals, and let's talk about the defense as well. I think Hougang have done well. Yeah, they conceded the 3 goals, but you know, defensively they've been dogged. You know, you're talking about the resilience against LCS the last time round. Lionel has been great. Fabian playing at centre back has been great. The 2 fullbacks has been great as well. Farhan Zulkifli, you know, started out having to defend a lot, but you know, has held his own against Armin Bosniak.
Yep. Lionel Tan, at one point we thought he might go off.
Yep.
He's come back on.
He scored a goal.
He's got a goal as well to boot.
And this is the, again, very good defending there. Double team. And the good thing is they've learned from what happened in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the game. Hougang adapted to that, had a double teaming on their Armin Bosniak. It's good to see that as well.
Those 7 goals, by the way, make them now the highest scorers in the SPL with 44 goals. That's 2 ahead of Lion City Sailors, who have got 2 games in hand, to be fair. But for now, that'll be good for them.
Yeah.
They have, though, conceded 32 in the league. So actually 33 now, I should say.
Speaking about that, if you do go and play on the front foot and you've got the players to score goals, if you do score 5, it's okay to let in 2 goals, right? It's the 3 points. And of course, along the way, you'll get it right defensively.
And we are just about to hit the 90th minute mark. Here's Nakamura. That's, again, good work from Lionel Tan as a corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has been
3 minutes, I think that's merciful, given what we've seen. That comes off Kaishu, and that's nicely done by Shawal Anwar, just to help out. Is there time for one more? He's got plenty of pace about him. Nazrul Nazari. Here's Tomoyuki Doi. Afik Noor. A little bit stretched at the moment. Yeah, look at where Doi is. How deep is he? He's absolutely everywhere.
Great.
What work ethic.
Yeah, brilliant.
Flag has been raised.
It was raised for an earlier foul on the Hougang player. That worked well for Hougang players, and yeah, I'm sure Tampines side just want the referee to blow the whistle right now.
Do stay with us beyond the final whistle. We have post-match analysis with myself and Shashi Kumar. It's going to be an eventful one, just like the game. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, lots to talk about with so little time, and yeah, it has been an enjoyable game, especially if you are neutral. Lots of talking points if you are a coach as well, just wanting to learn the game, just looking at organization, looking at goals scored, looking at, you know, a lot of things actually.
Dan Bennett. We're, of course, now very much into consolation goal time. And they've kept at it at least.
Yeah, of course.
They've really pushed as much as they can. Oh, nice work there from Yasser. Scrambled away by Lionel for a corner.
Yeah, anywhere will do right now for Hougang, and they don't mind just defending from a corner as well. And Yasser just going through the middle, and Lionel good defending again, good covering. He has that ability to cover the ground quick. Great defensive header there.
Farhan, oh, excuse me, Afik Noor going to touch. Here's Kyoga Nakamura, nice little pirouette. That took, I thought it might have taken a deflection. It doesn't matter because the final whistle is gone here at Hougang Stadium. And your thoughts on how this has ended, Shashi Kumar?
Well, it's like I said in the first half, this has been a great advert in terms of entertainment. Entertainment value very high, loads of good goals as well that they've scored. And very, very good game of football. And I'm sure the neutrals have enjoyed this one.
Plenty of goals, a few recriminations. I'm sure after the game, the two coaches will have very different emotions following the end of that game. The pressure must really be on Gavin at the moment. Clement Cho will be riding high. His side have been absolutely superb today. And it's another big hammering here at the Hougang Stadium. With the last time they played here, a 5-1. Now this time it ends Hougang United 7, Tampines Rovers 3.
They don't go away. We will be back with match analysis and what actually went in the game with highlights as well.
Yeah, looking at those stats there, Shashi, 26 attempts, 9 on target, but look at that, clinical. Talk about Hougang United, 10 on target, 7 scored.
Exactly, and the shots on target was 10, like you said, and you know, it was entertaining. If you look at the shots on goal, if you look at it in totality, 26 and 19, you know, loads of entertainment, end-to-end action. Obviously, we've got players on both sides, attacking players, but if you are on you are a defensive coach looking at things, you know, you could be a little bit disappointed, a little bit worried, but hey, you know, the fans loved it.
Just looking at that, now there's 2 games where they've conceded more than 50 shots.
Yeah.
25 in the first game, 26 in this one.
Yeah.
Hougang, do you think they should be concerned about that or not?
Again, if you look at those two teams, it's Tampines and LCS, two very attacking teams,
yeah.
You know, and they are always going to, you know, come at you, especially if Hougang, the way they play, they attack and they score goals first. So they're always going to drop deep a little bit. But apart from that, you know, you got to look at the shots on target as well. The shots on target for Tampines was only 9, right? So you got to look at that as well. And again, the most important thing, 7 goals scored.
Yeah. After all that,
Yeah, exactly.
you have 26 shots.
Yeah.
You only have 3 goals to show, and you've lost the game
Right.
very convincingly for you, Shasi. Was it very much
I think-
Hougang deserved winners? Right?
Yeah, very much so. You know, if you are going to go ahead and score goals that you do, and of course they got lucky with little 2 or 3 goals, you know, with Lionel's and Hafiz Sujat, and then the back pass that was, you know, adjudged to be a back pass really. But you got to take your chances. They managed the game very well as well. You thought that at 5-3 you think, okay, you might think that, oh, here we go. You know, Tampines might have that you know, quality to come back because you always know that, you know, they can score goals. But having said that, they organized, they regrouped, and did very well to score a couple of goals.
Let us take you through the story of this match. Plenty to see now as we go through the highlights. And it all started so early on, Shasi, with that 4th-minute goal from Fabian Kwok.
Yeah, mistake from Zulfairuz. We spoke about that just now. And you know, if you're not sure, just clear it. You know, and they just wanted to play it out from the back. And then Fabian, you got to say, give credit to him. Good finish. Obviously, look at the way the ball bobbled just in front of him. He took it first time, went over the goalkeeper. Good finish.
First of a few mistakes there
Yeah.
from Zulfairuz. And then they hit back, Tampines Rovers, not long after. It was a great response, a brilliant individual goal from Zerun Mehmedovic.
Yeah, exactly. And it was great skill at the end there. You know, just taking it past Lionel with his outside of his right foot and then making it at an easy finish pass. Iswan couldn't do much there.
Well, not long before we saw the second Hougang goal with Tomoyuki Doi getting his first of the evening. And a great strike that was from an angle.
Yeah, and first goal after not scoring for 3 games, and then a little bit too easy, like I said, in the first half. Hafiz Sujat playing the ball over the top. Good control with his right foot. Look at that, sign of a good striker. From an acute angle, he knew what he was doing, played it into the far post.
Well, 2-1 then became 3-1 after some great work from both the forwards. An excellent little touch on from Gilberto, and what a finish that is from Tomoyuki Doi.
That's world-class finish, and that ball from Kaishu over the top, first-time ball from Gilberto, and that first-time effort. And, you know, he was unplayable, Doi, today. You know, he was here, there, and everywhere. He scores goals for fun and very strong as well.
Doi then got a hat-trick after perhaps a contentious decision here from the referee. He judged that to be a back pass from Mehmedovic. Zulfairuz picked up the ball, and then Doi did the rest.
Yeah, no mistake from Doi. He rifled it into the top corner. You can't save that. And again, feel a little bit sorry for the decision that was given against them. Tampines back pass by Mehmedovic, and you can tell, again, like I said before, why it was given.
19 goals this season for the Premier League's top scorer. Well, not long after that, this was just before the end of the half, and a goal here for Boris Kapitovic. Everyone just seemed to be a bit stunned and ball watching, perhaps.
Yeah, it was a great turn, and it was a foul actually in the first place, but then referee waved play on. Great advantage play. Kapitovic going past the goalkeeper, and he's always going to score from there. Having gone past the goalkeeper, you always know that he was going to slot the ball in easily.
So that got us to half-time. The score was 4-2 in favour of Hougang United. And then, not long after the break, we had this wonderful move that started from the back.
Right.
And Kapitovic slotting in.
Exactly. There was a very good ball in, clipped ball by Armin Bosniak, a hint of offside, not given. And then, you know, as soon as Kapitovic went past Lionel, there was no stopping him. All he had to do was keep his composure, did that, went past the goalkeeper, and game on.
Well, at that point it was 4-3, and we thought, okay, maybe Tampines are going to mount this amazing comeback. But no, it became the Hougang show once again, and this was a bit of a comedy of errors here.
Yeah, I think Lionel got a little lucky with the rebound, but then, you know, you got to take your chances, rifle the ball home easily in the end. Shawal here with a shot, went past everyone, and then rebound went to Lionel. And he was there, and you thought in the first half he was going out because of an injury, but stayed on and scored.
Well, Gilberto then got in on the act with this. Again, it's not great goalkeeping, is it?
Yeah, it's not great, but you got to admire this one there. This move from Doi, you know, going past, very strong, going past the defense, and then the goalkeeper has to do better there. And Gilberto won't get an easier chance to score a goal.
Well, just to complete the not so good goals conceded in the second half, we then had this from Hafiz Sujat to kind of sum up how things were in the second 45 for Tampines, right?
That was the best goal of the lot, Shazad. No, but you know, again, in a good position, not in an offside position. He had to score. He kicked it against the ground, and yeah, it's a goal.
Well, that is probably the most eventful highlights you'll have seen this season. And now it's time to hear from the men in charge of these teams. It'll be very interesting to hear the reaction of Gavin Lee, the head coach of Tampines Rovers.
Doesn't help your case, does it?
No, it doesn't help us. I think that the scoreline is a reflection of us in those crucial moments at the back. But I thought the team in general, we created the chances that we worked on, and Izwan put off a couple of good saves, which I felt that perhaps could have turned the game the other way. But you know, yeah, it was way too easy, and it's not acceptable for us to be conceding goals like that.
Like you said, you showed a little bit of a fight. You showed glimpses of potentially turning it around. But what is it that is still missing from your game?
Well, I think glimpses is a harsh word for us. If you look at it back again and the kind of chances we created, the areas we got into, it's just, you know, we Izwan again put off a few good saves. Our strikers could have maybe put in a couple more. And, you know, it's a different game if we kept a more solid back. But yeah.
Now, we have to ask about that keeper sub, Daniel, for Zufairuz, and that was when the game looked pretty settled at that point. What was the reason for it? Was it an injury, a tactical sub?
Give the boy a chance. You know, he has been training very hard. All our young boys have been training very, very hard, and this is a baptism of fire in a sense for him to see how he coped with the pressure, and I thought he came in and did a good job.
Now, Gavin, earlier you said there was nothing much to say for you to motivate your players, but do you feel that now there is a need to address the matter to make sure that the confidence within the squad is still intact for the remainder of the season?
It's a matter of brain state here. Our brain state since ACL has been quite negative because of the results over there, and circumstances has made it a little bit more challenging for us. And all we can do is to try to take one more step forward each day, and you know, focus on the present, focus on the current moment, and do the best we can each day.
Gavin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Many thanks to our reporter Farah Naida, who put Gavin on the spot. It's never easy, is it? You've been there. It's not easy to be on the spotlight right after a defeat. You don't want to be doing that, really, do you?
Firstly, I got to give kudos to Farah who be doing that. You know, it's not easy as well for the coach as well, and for the person who's going to ask the questions. But yeah, it's never easy. And what do you say after losing 7-3? What do you say after losing 5-0, for example? You can't say anything to, you know, hammer your players. You know, that's only going to make it worse.
Yeah.
But you can say it right as it is. It's not acceptable, which is said that, which is true, which is fact, and that's the only way to go forward. But because you can tell that the players don't want to go out there and lose 7-3.
Of course.
Right? But you can tell that it's unacceptable for a club like Tampines to be conceding goals like that.
He was a bit defensive about the way that they played today. He said actually it was more than just a few glimpses.
Yeah.
The stats will show that. They had 26 opportunities today, 9 of them on target. Should they have scored more goals?
Of course they should have scored more goals. It could have been 7-all or 10-9 or whatever. They should have, because they've got players to do that. They've missed chances. Izwan made a couple of saves, like you said. But having said that, you can't create chances, miss, score, but then lose out to goals like that, concede goals like that. You can't make errors like that, and so that's the problem.
Yeah, I think he'll be very disappointed, and now, of course, he's saying it's a brain problem. It's something within the team, a bit of negativity. How do you then change that? How do you change that negativity?
Wow, it's tough, man. And especially, like I said, it's a confidence problem, and he's got to work out there on the pitch and, you know, off the pitch as well.
Now we're going to have the flip side of this. Here's the Hougang head coach, Clement Teo.
Okay. Clement, this game had everything. Plenty of goals, a little bit of drama at one point, but a huge win for you, and you did it pretty convincingly, didn't you?
I mean, for the first goal, yes. I mean, we did well. We worked on this, and it was something that paid off. I mean, for a centre-back to be pressing and scoring a goal, that's fantastic for Fabian. I mean, he has done well for us, but ultimately we were fortunate because on phases of the game we were just ball watching, we were just stopping, and we conceded 2 very quick goals, and this is not something that we want.
onto that point, you came out blazing in the first half, but you did have some shaky moments in the second when they clawed their way back to make it 4-3. At any point, did you think that you might have let it slip there?
Oh yes, we were rather nervous, and we were just thinking of how we should get things going again. And what we did was we basically calm the players down and say, okay, do what we do best, and that's to score goals.
Speaking of scoring goals, Doi came into this having not scored in the last 3, and what a game to get back his goal scoring form with a hat-trick no less tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we are, everyone is happy for him. He has shown his potential, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's also the supply. Yeah, finishing, he's fantastic.
Clement, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Not many coaches would look that dejected or not so happy when they've just beaten a mighty team like Tampines Rovers 7-3.
But listen, it's the sign of a good coach who's not happy with what he already has, because he's right, because in glimpses you thought that Tampines, they might come back into the game, so they want to be a little bit tighter, you know. So yeah, kudos to him. But listen, Hougang, I've already said this. If they're consistent, they'll be right up there with Albirex.
Yeah, you made that point, and let's see how that table will shape up in a while. But let's also remind you, it has been a goal bonanza here in the Singapore Premier League today, because at the Jurong East Stadium, Albirex Negata have whacked Geylang International for 5, which means we've had 15 goals over 2 games today. Absolutely huge scorelines across the country. And what does that mean for the table in the SPL? Well, they are now 8 points clear, Albirex Negata, though we have to add, of course, very importantly, Lion City Sailors have a couple of matches in hand. And just look at that, Hougang now just 2 points away, though they also have played 2 games more. But plenty of goals, Shasi.
Exactly, and loads of goals as well. And they've now, like, what, 11 points ahead of Tampines, so they're really far ahead of Tampines, and already secured the AFC Cup and probably going for Lion City Sailors, but Lion City Sailors obviously have got the games in hand. 2
matches coming up tomorrow, both at 5:30 p.m. Balestier Khalsa will be up against Tanjung Pagar United at Toa Payoh Stadium, and it's the Jalan Besar derby. Young Lions will host Lion City Sailors. So that brings us to the end of a hugely entertaining evening. I've absolutely loved this, Shasi.
Like I said, you know, come on down to the stadium, support the SPL, because it was absolutely brilliant. More of these kind of matches in the future.
Shasi, thank you very much for joining us, and you as well, our viewers, from me, Shazad Haq, and the rest of the team here at the Hougang Stadium. We look forward to seeing you very, very soon in the AIA Singapore Premier League.